Sizing up Murphy, drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is Dart. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast, coming to you live Thursday, January 2nd, as the Thunder beat the Los Angeles Clippers 116-98. I'm your host for the evening, a little solo pod here tonight with your boy Jacob Niffen. Hey, before I dive into the podcast tonight, I would like to let you guys know that we are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network. Shout out Blue Wire. And the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. If you're in OKC, head over to 8th Street. Go get some Prairie beers, hang out at the tap room, catch a sporting event. You can go there and watch a Thunder game. If you're not in OKC, hit up your local liquor store. Get you some Prairie beers. I've heard they're quite great. I don't drink, but I will pump the hell out of the Prairie beers. And you know what? I am feeling generous tonight. This is the Thunder's 13th win in a row. It is a franchise record 13 in a row. So I'm going to give somebody some free Prairie beers. Whoever drops my favorite question in the chat tonight. So get your questions in. I will go through at the end of the show. I will answer your questions. Whichever one is my favorite, you will win a $50 Prairie gift card to go load up on some Prairie beers. And you know what? If you don't live in Oklahoma and you win, I will package up those Prairie beers and I will get them sent to you. Don't know if that's legal. It don't matter. I will break the damn law. So get some questions in the chat. Someone's going to win a $50 Prairie gift card tonight in honor of Oklahoma City now having a new franchise record, 13 straight wins. I also want to let you guys know before I dive into this game, you can catch us on any social media platforms. We're all over the place. Georgie says, will I send them to him in Australia? Georgie, my answer to that, hell yeah, brother. I will mail them to Australia. International. You can catch us on any of your favorite social media channels, especially YouTube. So make sure you sub to the YouTube channel, please. Also, please drop that thumbs up on the YouTube video. That would mean a ton to us. It just helps out the algorithm. I think we're almost out of YouTube jail, too. They might start giving us money again. Shout out YouTube. And then, I have to plug other side right here, the Patreon. So you can scan the QR code here, or you can just go to patreon.com/theuncontested for a very small amount of money. $5. You get access to the Patreon, which is 2 bonus pods every month. Once a month, we do a live watch party in our Discord channel where everyone gets in and we just get the community together to watch a basketball game. And you get access to the Discord, which is a ton of fun. Basically, think of wherever you talk Thunder basketball, but then insulate it with all the homies and none of the bullshit that goes on outside of that. That's what the Discord is. It's an awesome, awesome place to come talk Thunder hoops. We also talk football, video games, other NBA basketball. We talk a bunch of stuff in the Discord. We got a ton of channels. If you ever look in the live chat here on YouTube, you will see that a lot of the Discord folks are here and they will swear by how much fun the Discord is. So I would encourage you to join. With that being said, the Thunder defeat the Clippers 116-98 to win their 13th straight basketball game. That is a Thunder record. The previous record was 12. They tied that New Year's Eve. Going to be honest with you, I was a little worried early on that they would not break the record tonight. It was pretty slow to start. Got a little antsy there. Didn't matter because the Thunder put their foot down in the third quarter. I got a Twitter notification. I'm just trying to make sure we didn't get some crazy Shams news. Nope. It's just the Jimmy Butler wants out of Miami stuff. We're good. Who cares? Miami sucks, and the Thunder own that pick. So shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thought the Thunder were not going to win this game in the first quarter. They fought back in the second quarter, got it down to like 4 points. And then in typical Thunder fashion, third quarter happens. Welcome to hell, other team, because the Thunder are just going to lock you in the Iron Maiden. And then they're going to take your bloody body out of the Iron Maiden, and they're going to hit you upside the head with a baseball bat like they do in Inglourious Bastards. And then they're not even going to bury your body. They're just going to burn it. They go scorched freaking earth in the third quarter, and it is insane. So we're going to dive into all of that. I have 5 takeaways from tonight. We'll do a little overview of the game. We'll dive into some of these takeaways. I'll give you my Prairie Artisan Ales King of the Prairie player of the game. And then I'm going to answer all of your questions that you ask in the chat. I will choose a favorite question. That person will win a $50 Prairie gift card that they can spend in the tap room. I don't know if you can spend. You won't be able to spend it at a liquor store. You'd have to go to the tap room. We'll get you taken care of. My 5 takeaways. Number 1, the defense, elite. Number 2, third quarter vibes. Number 3, Dub finding a rhythm. Number 4, bench production. And number 5, 13. Let's start with a game overview, though. The Thunder started this one out slow. They were 1 of 9 from 3 in the first quarter. They ended the first quarter down 22-30, which is really ironic because before the game, I was at the game with my buddy, Carrie. Carrie's in the chat here tonight. Shout out, Carrie. And I told Carrie, with James Harden out, this team should not be able to score on the Thunder. And then they scored a lot on the Thunder. Specifically, Amir Coffey. Shout out Amir Coffey. The Amir Coffey tonight, 10 of 14 for 26 points. Didn't see that coming, Amir Coffey. Good game from you. Another thing I didn't see coming, Norman Powell, 1 of 11 for 6 points and a minus 26. Welcome to hell, Norman Powell. Population, you. And then one thing I love to see, Kevin Porter Jr., 3 of 11 for 11 points. 11 points on 11 shots. Gets a free throw rate better than Shea, which is insane. Also, Kevin Porter Jr., go to the next level of hell. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You woman-beating piece of shit. All right, so the second quarter got a little bit better. The Thunder kind of pushed out. They got the lead got up to like 14, I believe, in the second quarter, but the Thunder really locked in, started hitting some threes, and then down the stretch, they got it down to 4. I thought they were going to get to single digits going into halftime, but the Thunder commit a foul with about 5 seconds left. After they got a stop, the Clippers got 2 free throws, I think, off of that. And then J-Dub had that awesome coast-to-coast in about 4 minutes and hit the little floater to get it from 6 to 4. And the Thunder went into half, instead of being down 16, down 4 points. And you just kind of felt like, hey, if they can come out this third quarter and just do some Thunder stuff, they'll win the game. Folks, they came out of half and they did some Thunder stuff. Specifically, they outscored the Clippers 42-20. Just belt to ass for most of that third quarter. The defense just, it went to another level. I mean, the Clippers couldn't do anything. The Thunder were just taking the ball and then running the other way and dunking it. I think the epitome of that was Shea ripping Norman Powell. Norman Powell was very upset in that third quarter. And then Shea just ripped him, went to the other end. Norman almost tackled him. Shea ends up getting the clear path foul, 2 free throws in the ball. And that was just the epitome of the third quarter. That's what the Thunder did. They just said, you have the ball. We would like that, please. I will take that ball away from you, and I will go to the other end of the court, and I'll put it in the hoop. And then let's do it again. You bring it down here. I will take the ball away from you, and then I'll go to the other end of the court, and I'll put it in the hoop again. And let's just do that process over and over and over. It was basically copy-paste from Tuesday night against the Wolves, where they just turned them over and went and scored the ball. And the Thunder shot the 3 ball much better in the second half. And all that stuff together, that's how you win a basketball game. Fourth quarter came around. That quarter was 26-26. And the only reason that quarter was tied was because the Thunder called off all the dogs. And we got to see some Ousmane Dieng minutes. You love to see some Ousmane Dieng minutes because that means you are up by 30. You always love some victory Ousmane Dieng minutes. You might not like watching the brother play basketball, but if he's in, you know things are going pretty well. And that's what happened tonight. So that's your quick overview of the game. Let's take a quick break. On the other side, we'll dive into those 5 takeaways I had. We'll name a Prairie, King of the Prairie, brought to you by Prairie Artisan Ales. And then we'll answer some of your questions. We'll be right back. Folks, we are back. And let's talk about some of these themes. Number 1, Thunder defense is elite. I want to read you guys some stats that I looked up earlier today. This is pre-Clippers game. Thunder, number 1 in the league in defensive efficiency. They are number 1 in the league by almost 3 points per 100 possessions, which is a massive gap. I can actually, trying to podcast solo and pull up stats is typically pretty difficult. I'm just that good to make it look easy. That's a joke. It's not easy. I'm really bad at this. But I want to give you guys some context here. Defensive rating. The Thunder are at 102.8. The Rockets are at 105.8. That's a 3 point per 100 possession difference. From Houston at number 2, you would have to go to the Clippers at number 5 to get another 3 point difference, 105.8 to 108.7. And then from the Clippers at 5, if you want to get to another 3 point difference, you got to go down to 13, the Knicks at 111.7. So the Thunder, the difference between 1 and 2 is as big as the difference between 2 and 5, which is as big of a difference between 5 and 11. That is to say, it is a massive gap. It is a massive gap on the Thunder defensive efficiency. Not only are they number 1 in the league in defensive efficiency, they are number 1 in the NBA in steals per game. They're number 4 in blocks per game. They are number 1 in stocks per game. That's steals plus blocks. They are number 1 in opponent points in the paint, meaning playing against the Thunder, like the Thunder's defense allows the fewest points in the paint against, like in comparison to any other team in the league. And they are number 2 in opponent fast break points. So you're not going to score in the paint against the Thunder, and you're not going to score on the fast break against the Thunder. They're going to turn you over. They're going to block your shot, and they're going to be the best defense in the league. Oh, by the way, Chet Holmgren's played 10 games. Caruso's only played 20. Caruso is a multi-time all-defensive team, all NBA defensive team player. Chet Holmgren was going to be in running for Defensive Player of the Year and is going to be a perennial first-team all-defense type of guy. Those 2 guys haven't played, and this team is still that good defensively. And that was on display again tonight. That third quarter, end of the second, and that third quarter specifically, what do you do? I mean, there are plays where guys just can't wiggle open. The rim protection is elite. They're cleaning the glass off of misses. They're swarming the ball, and they lead the league in deflections. They're gonna tip the ball. They're gonna steal the ball. They're gonna make you make horrible decisions. The Thunder forced like I think 2 backcourt violations and had like 2 or 3 possessions where the Clippers were trying to feed it into the post and just overthrew Zubats or missed him on the pass and threw it out of bounds because the Thunder were swarming the passing lane so much. You had to take like a wild like pass to get it in there. They say defense wins championships. You obviously need offense in this present day NBA. The Thunder are winning games because of their defense. It's not like the three-point shooting has been elite. Now, they did come around tonight after starting 1 of 9. The Thunder ended up 14 of 38 for 37%. I think you would take that every night. The Thunder shot 50, 37, 80 splits tonight. That's wonderful. They scored 116 points against a very good Clippers defense. But the Thunder defense is just absurdly at another level. And when Alex comes back, which I think might be Friday against the Knicks, and when Chet comes back, who is looking much better, no crutches, no limp. If you saw Chet's fit tonight, it looked like he was going to leave the game and get in his fighter jet and go bomb Nazi Germany. It was a wild fit. Wild fit. When those two guys get back, what does this defense look? How do you ever score against this team? How do you ever score against this team? That was takeaway number 1. I could talk about the defense forever. The defense makes me warm and fuzzy. I kind of already touched on this, but takeaway 2, third quarter vibes. I don't know what the hell Mark is saying in that locker room at halftime, but keep doing it, Mark. It works. Holy smokes. New Year's Eve, the Thunder outscored the Timberwolves 43-23 in the third quarter. Tonight, the Thunder outscored the Clippers 42-20 in the third quarter. Would I like the Thunder to stop getting down double digits in the first half and then having to go scorched earth in the third quarter to get back in the game? Of course I would. But with anything in life, hey, stop doing the bad things and keep doing the good things. Like, yeah, of course you want that. They're human. They're a basketball team. Like, they're not going to be perfect all the time. But my God, are they good. And these third quarters, I hope you guys can't hear the dogs in the background. I can't do anything about it. They're just going to bark, and I'm going to sit here and podcast, and we're putting it in God's hands. Yes, Caleb, what the dog doing? I don't know what NC is commenting in the chat, but please don't ask that question. You're not winning the Prairie card, my boy. Where was I at? Third quarters. When your team can like crank up the volume to that level, what do you do? What happens when they do that in the playoffs? What happens when they do that for like 3 quarters or a full half? I mean, you lose by 40. It's insane to me. When this team really, really gets it going, you can't do anything. And they really get it going in that third quarter. And I think that kind of shows you what this team can do. Third takeaway, Dub finding a rhythm. J-Dub's stat line tonight. He had 18 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block. J-Dub was a plus 33 tonight. And I know single game plus minus doesn't mean a whole lot, but plus 33 is a lot of plus. That's a lot of plus. I don't even know if I can count to 33. Plus 33 is insane. What's more important to me, 8 of 14 from the field. He was only 1 of 3 from 3, but 8 of 14 from the field is wonderful. Very efficient night. And that really came around in that third quarter where I think the Thunder started with 3 straight J-Dub layups. Some of them were off the dribble. Some of them were backdoor passes. I have felt very strongly that Dub has been in a rut, and I think he's in his head a bit because of a perceived lack of respect from the officials. I tend to agree because I think he does get a lot of contact going to the basket and doesn't get it called. And I'm not sure why that is, but I think that has thrown off Dub's rhythm and thrown off his game. And so you see him a lot more now moving the ball, pulling up from three, or getting to that midi pull up and not trying to aggressively attack the basket. I thought there was some moments tonight where he really attacked the basket and was efficient in doing so. And that's what you like to see. Maybe he's working through and working out of that rut. I think they'll need a big game from Dub tomorrow night, Friday, on the Sega Baba against the New York Knicks if they want to win. And I think there's a good chance that happens. But hopefully Dub is turning a corner. I thought tonight was a good sign, especially with him getting to the basket. There are the dogs again. Welcome to my life. My next takeaway is the bench production. I'm going to yell at these dogs and mute myself. Hold on a second. We're back. The bench production. I want to read some bench stats to you guys real fast. Please indulge me for a moment. AJ Mitchell with a new haircut. 11 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He shot 3 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, and 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Cason Wallace, 9 points on 4 of 6 from the field. Isaiah Joe, 9 points on 3 of 6 from 3. Kenrich Williams, 7 points on 2 of 6 from the field. Oos got 2 points. I don't want to talk about that. Jay Will got 2 points in 19 minutes on 1 of 7 from the field. Don't want to talk about that. But AJ, Cason, and Isaiah chipped in 29 points. You factor in Kenrich Williams, that's 36 points off the bench between those 4 guys. You love to see that. And then when this team is healthy and Wiggins goes back to the bench and Chet is in the starting lineup, you have that going for you as well. A lot of people are super high on the Thunder need to go get Cam Johnson. I'm not saying you're wrong. That'd be awesome. I kind of think they just want to run this team. And these bench guys are coming around. And if you can get a handful of them to just play well consistently, you're in a really good place. And one of them that plays really consistency is AJ Mitchell. AJ's been awesome. I think we're starting to see the bench come around a bit. And they might be led by a 2-way second-round pick rookie who's awesome. Let's get to my last of my 5 takeaways. We'll do the King of the Prairie, and then I'll answer your questions. So get your questions in the chat. Last one, team record, 13 wins in a row. Not 13 wins. That'd be a horrible record. 13 in a row. Let's put that in context. This is a team that's been to the NBA Finals. This is a team that has had multiple 60-win seasons. This is a team with multiple Western Conference Finals appearances in the past decade. This is a team who has had, in no particular order, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul on the team. All of those guys will be first ballot Hall of Famers. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of elite players. There's a lot of elite teams. None of them have won 13 games in a row. This team has. Is this the best Thunder team ever? We still got a lot of season to go. We'll see. I'm kind of leaning yes, if we're being honest here. This might be the best Thunder team ever. And 13 wins in a row, I think, isn't a fluke. Right? It's not a fluke. The context behind that is incredibly impressive. They're just good, man. Don't take this for granted. And they're going to lose a game. It might be in less than 24 hours against the New York Knicks. It might be on Sunday against the Celtics. It might be on, what is that, Wednesday out in Cleveland. It might be next Friday in Madison Square Garden. Hell, it might be next Sunday. Woo. It might be next Sunday in Washington, D.C., which would suck. At some point, they're going to lose the game. But I would like to remind you guys to keep context in mind. This might be the best team this city has ever had. And the win streak ending is going to stink, but then they'll just start a new one. They're really good. Don't take it for granted. Do not take it for granted. All right. My Prairie artisan, King of the Prairie. I got to get this little picture up here. Look at that. King of the Prairie. My King of the Prairie tonight. Maybe surprising. I'm going Isaiah Hartenstein for my Prairie Artisan Ales King of the Prairie tonight in this 116-98 win over the Clippers. Hartenstein tonight in 23 minutes. 23 minutes. 11 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks. He was a plus 23. He shot 5 of 9 from the field. 11, 9, 6, 1, and 2 in 23 minutes. I've said it a few times on this podcast. I'm going to say it here right now. I think Hartenstein's the best passer on this team. Some of the windows he can find on some of those backdoor cuts, he sets guys up in an insane way that leads to very easy baskets. Like, there is a difference between an assist where you kick out to a guy at 3 who just chucks one up at the end of the shot clock and it goes in, and an assist where it's like a guy cuts backdoor, you feed him the pass on a beautiful backdoor bounce pass, and then he gets an open layup at the rim. Like that, there's a difference between those two plays. One is repeatable and leads to easy buckets. The other does not. Isaiah Hartenstein gets this team a lot of easy buckets. I thought he was going to get a triple-double tonight. He might have if he played more than 23 minutes. But iHeart is my King of the Prairie tonight. Hopefully iHeart shows out against his former team, the New York Knicks, tomorrow, Friday night, in the Paycom Center. All right, let's hit some of these questions in the chat. I'm going to start at the top. There are a lot. I'm going to do my best to get to all of them. Here we go. Smoot says, if iHeart started the year healthy, are we calling him an all-star? It's a great question, Smoot. I would say no, because the all-star game is now front court, back court. There's not a center designation. So forwards are included in there, and he would not get the nod. But I think we would be arguing that he is like top 10 center in the league. That's a great question, though, Smoot. I appreciate that. Where are some more questions? Tanner says, who has the better bald head, Caruso or Jacob? It's a great question, Tanner. My goal is in the next 10 days, you guys will see a picture of Caruso and I doing the Spider-Man meme, the pointing Spider-Man meme. And then you guys can be the judge. So we'll see. Jake Flores, do you think AJ Mitchell will be a better answer as far as second facilitator than J-Dub? Wonderful question, Jake. I don't know. AJ has been very, very good. I have also been burned on being very high on second round role players in the past on this team, notably Isaiah Roby. We will see. But I do think AJ is very good and more of a point guard in the sense of trying to set guys up than J-Dub is. But I think both can play make really well. Verdict is still out on AJ. I need to have a bigger sample size, but AJ has been very, very impressive, and I've loved what he's been able to do with the second unit. So as far as the facilitator, I would say they're about equal in their impact right now. The OK State Is there a Thunder role player from past teams that you would take on this team now, and who would you replace? Dion Waiters, because he is my GOAT. No, who would be a good role player from the past that would fit on this team? I don't think Serge Ibaka is a fit on this present day Thunder. He's not a decision maker. Andre Robertson lacks too much offense. Cephalosha would be an interesting one. I could see this team having like a Cephalosha type of guy. Don't want to say Derek Fisher. A Reggie Jackson type of player would fit well, minus the attitude. I honestly don't think Dion is a bad answer because Dion is the GOAT. A Victor Oladipo, I think, would be a very good role player as well. So there's a lot of them. As far as who would you replace, man, I don't know. Maybe it's like maybe it's a Kenrich Williams. Maybe it's an Aaron Wiggins. Maybe it is an AJ Mitchell. Like I'm not sure, but that's a great question. OK State, you might win the Prairie gift card. My guy Carey says, we talk about trade value of some of these guys, but what is the chemistry value outside of basketball of a guy like Wiggs compared to Mitchell? This is part of the reason why I don't want them to make a trade, is because I don't mess with something that's working and don't threaten to kill the chemistry and the vibes. So I don't know if one guy has more value over another, Carey, as far as vibes and chemistry. But I don't think I'd mess with it. Let's see. Everyone's saying the Discord is a great place to be. I would agree with that. Nick Jordan says, are the Thunder selling AJ Mitchell for more shooting? Do they ship Topic for more shooting? Nick, I think kind of my last answer sums this one up. I just don't think they're going to shake it up. Maybe they do. I just have a hard time seeing it. Senator Kennedy, is this somehow part of Mark's strategy to spot these leads and then ambush them in the third quarter? I'm sure Mark doesn't like giving up the lead and getting down double digits, but I'm sure he also likes seeing the team face adversity and how they respond to that. That is something that he seems very into. So not part of the strategy, but I don't think he hates it either. Smoot says, what was Harden out with really? Groin, the club, or the Lou flu? I think it was DNP too horny, Smoot. Let's see some other questions. Carrie says, in honor of JD, who is the Nosferatu of this team? The guy that sucks the life out of the other team. For example, Lou took Norm's soul tonight. I like that. Maybe we go with Lou. If you listen to the last pod about Nosferatu, you would know that this is also an awkward question. Rob says, question, when will the Thunder lose again? January, February, or March? Put me down. Put me down for a loss tomorrow night against the Knicks, the second game of a back-to-back. I don't like it. I'm not glad that I said that, but that's where I'm going. Smoot says, I think slow starts were an issue for the team last season too. What do you think is the cause for slow starts? It's a great question. It kind of takes them a while to rev the engine up, I guess. The shooting is not great. It just feels like they don't come out with their foot on the gas and they slowly push on the gas. And then when the pedal gets down, you're in trouble. Some of these questions are not getting asked because you guys are degenerates. Griffey says the fans booing the refs on the clear path foul. But aside from that, what is the stupidest moment in Thunder history? Gosh, Griffey, that's a hard question. I don't know. Stupidest moment in Thunder history. Like fans stupid or players stupid? Maybe fan stupid is the continued booing of Kevin Durant and then him going off against them. That might be the dumbest one. Any more questions that I want to get to before we get out of here? Looking. A lot of comments about my dog. NC says, question, what's the best argument for why not to make a deadline deal and just roll with the roster? You're the number one team in the West by 5.5 games. The vibes are great. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Your team is young and cost controlled, and you have ways to continue to team build. So roll with what you got, because what you got's working pretty damn well. I'm not saying this is what I think they should do, NC, but your question and your hypothetical, what's the reason for not making a deal? That's what I would say. What's the reason for making a deal? Well, the 3-point shooting has been below average and they've regressed a lot. Maybe they could use another scorer off the bench, and you have the asset. So you should probably make the trade now before you no longer have the opportunity to make the trade, because the second apron goes back and forth. I don't know why people are talking about Soldier Boy in the chat. Any other questions I want to hit? Scrolling. This is wonderful podcasting. This is what sucks about doing a solo pod. It's really, really difficult to do a solo pod, guys. If you're going to start a podcast, don't make it a solo podcast. There's way too many comments. That's all the questions I am getting to tonight. I'm also at 36 minutes on a solo pod. Am I Taylor Peterson? Am I becoming Taylor Peterson? 36 minutes on a solo podcast. Hey, who is the OK State homie? Gonna be real honest with you. I'm not an Oklahoma State fan. Boomer Sooner all the way. They also write my paychecks. So Boomer Sooner all the way. But the OK State, you win the Prairie gift card. So you need to hit me up on one of our social channels and send me your info so I can get you the $50 Prairie card, the OK State. If you do not drink or you're not in Oklahoma, we'll figure out something else and we'll get the gift card to somebody else. But the OK State, hit me up so I can get you your gift card. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Uncontested. Thank you for riding with me for 37.5 minutes on a solo post-game podcast. But it was an awesome one because the Thunder have won 13 straight games. First time in franchise history. 116-98 against the Los Angeles Clippers. And hey, we're going to run it back tomorrow night against the New York Knicks. If you're interested in a Knicks preview, I hopped on Knicks Fan TV. You can find them on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts at, to talk to my guy Alex about this game tomorrow night. And then after the game tomorrow night, win or lose, you can hop on here on YouTube again and listen to my guy Justin do the post game tomorrow night, which will be a blast. And then we're back here Sunday after the Thunder take on the Boston Celtics. Also would encourage you to join the Patreon. We've got another bonus pod coming up here soon. And next Friday, the Thunder at Madison Square Garden, we will be hosting our next virtual watch party where you can get in, hang out with all the guys, and watch the basketball game together. You can unmute and be in the chat and talk. You can type in the text chat, but it's a cool way to watch with a whole bunch of other Thunder fans. It'll be a great time. So I would encourage you to join the Patreon. Please, before you log off from the live stream tonight, drop a like on this video, hit that thumbs up, sub to the YouTube channel, and we will see you in 24 hours after the Thunder take on the New York Knicks. Until then, and as always, Thunder up.